just like that, we're back. Listen, that's what happens when you do a live show. Listen, it's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 back with another live recording of our program for today. Listen, we're going to be talking about your boy Gervon Dexter. Is he the answer at the edge? Does he give us the other dynamic pressure at that position? I know he's going to play his normal D tackle position, but does he give us the other punch that we need for right now? Considering the collective of defensive linemen we have, are the Bears looking for him to answer that? We're going to talk about that and so much more as we get into it. We'll have to edit the show, but I love it. That's why we do this. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Life like chess move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. The Lord to put me through some tests so I can learn my lesson. They take advantage when you cool, I can't control aggression. We go back and forth talking, so who we really blaming? Tell me to change, I'm not myself, and then you start complaining. Can't understand your situation if you had a main. But you cost me for some shots, we barely knew it.
Thanks for joining the program. It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Yes, you're right, Kenny. No need for name calling, but yeah, I did spell his name wrong. I'm not. I don't play for the Chicago Bears, but that's an easily fixable thing. We're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to talk about Gervon Dexter playing the edge position for the Chicago Bears. We're going to get into it. So much. We're going to catch you up. Of course, today is day 4 of training camp. So much news coming out of training camp. Of course, a lot of the talk about Caleb Williams and positive talk about Caleb Williams, him grasping the offense, assimilating well to the NFL. Also, Tyler Scott making plenty of plays out there on the field the last 2 days, and we love to see it. Maybe Thursday's show I have to do with, you know what I'm saying? Who we expecting to stick on this roster in terms of the wide receiver room, which actually be very interested in finding out because we have some talent in that room. Unfortunately, somebody's going to be the odd man out, and we're going to have to figure out who's going to be the guy that sticks. And so, you know, while we're talking about that, I can update the live in 4K and actually change the J into a G and have Gervon Dexter pronounced the same way nonetheless. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Again, all things editable for the broadcast. We'll get it on there. Listen, want to get in a few things while I wait on our guests to come in. I'm going to have my guy Nomad come in. A lot of talk at camp about Tevin Jenkins' contract. And I want to know how you guys feel about Tevin Jenkins going into his contract year. And what are we expecting to happen with this contract? I think the Bears are handling the right way, considering the injury history. And I'm bringing my guy Nomad up right now. Considering the injury history we've had, or Tevin Jenkins has had, you know, I think it's the right thing to kind of wait and see how it goes as far as the season goes, if he can be healthy this last year. And then also to make sure after we get towards the end of the season that he's healthy and then offer him a contract. And still there needs to be probably incentives written into the contract and that even in that situation. So I want to know how you guys are feeling about Tevin Jenkins in the contract year. And what are you reading from Tevin Jenkins in the presser? I think it seems like Tevin is one of those people going back to his rookie year. Tevin is one of those people that, you know, he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to what he's dealing with the contract situation, the position. I remember the position change he had a few years, his rookie year. He was kind of wearing his heart on his sleeve. And I feel like, you know, even with this situation, there might be a little bit of disappointment there that there's not commitment up front early from the Bears to get it done. But I can't side with Tevin in this situation and say that if that's how he's feeling about it, that it's warranted. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he has been dominant at the guard position. He has Pro Bowl potential. And I thought last year, even if he could have stayed healthy last year, he could have made a Pro Bowl last year had he played all 18 games. But somehow, some way, we find ourselves in a situation where I feel like he's going to have to play out. I'm trying to bring you up to the stage, but it says you only added audio early. Nomad, can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just not giving me the spot. It's not allowing me to show you the spot. They can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just an emoji any damn way. So,
well, welcome to the program anyway, Nomad. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that before we got to the Gervon Dexter kind of talk. What are you feeling about Tevin Jenkins in this situation, in this contract situation, and how the Bears are handling it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me on, man. It's a pleasure being here. And man, I'm looking at the chat, and we travel well, man. All these people were just in my show, and it was funny, man. We travel well. They get
was Kenny in your chat?
I think so, man. I think Kenny was in there. Yeah, he was.
Hey, Kenny, you gotta calm down. You know what I'm saying? You got to calm down in my chat. Me and Nomad just had a conversation about this.
No, don't get him started. Don't get him started. Hey, man, look, I heard Tevin Jenkins as soon as I popped in backstage, and that was unfortunately that was a topic that I wanted to get to, but getting out of that show hard to get over here. I'm glad you brought it, so now we could talk about it. I heard like on the perimeter of what you were saying, and I think you're right about him. You know, I think he's a sensitive guy, man, and there ain't nothing wrong with being that way. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I'm a June baby, June 23rd. They say I'm a Cancer. I don't get into zodiacs and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying? I understand. I kind of wear my heart on sleeve a little bit too, so I get it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, man. I think it's totally good. It's just when you see guys that big, I guess people don't tend to believe or think, you know, guys that big can be sensitive. Man, everybody like I wear every bit of my human emotions on my sleeves, and they ain't scared to confront any of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes. But yeah, I think he's attached to the situation, and I believe he wants to be wanted. And until he gets that reciprocation of how he feels, I think he's going to be that way.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, as far as timing of when I guess you mentioned that they won't be able to get back to that discussion about his contract until what was it, trade deadline or bye week or something like that, which is the same kind of deal. Yeah. I think it's smart, man, but I think it's a catch-22 for Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles had this situation get out of control on him with Jalen. He put Jalen in the position of I'll gamble on myself, and he lost. Talking about Ryan Poles. End up paying way more money than he should have if he'd have got an early deal done. Yeah. Different scenario with Tevin, but the same kind of thing. Tevin goes out there and all he has to really do is maintain a relatively some relatively good health, and he'll do what he's supposed to do. And that price will go up, not kind of the way Jalen's did, because Jalen has some hard assets to add to his repertoire with turnovers. Tevin won't necessarily have that. All he'll have is the ability to have stellar play and be healthy. If he can do those things, the price is going to go up somewhat. But, you know, I don't know. I think them waiting is a catch-22, but I understand why Poles is doing it.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand why wait. You know, I'm not going to get beside myself on that one. Definitely wait till the end of the season. That's an incentive for him to stay healthy. Also, I don't think the situation is the same with Jalen Johnson because there is a tangible stat out there in the turnovers, the interceptions, where a skilled position player, you know, it doesn't look good in the public eye if he's producing in that area. And I'm talking about Jalen Johnson, and you don't pay him. Whereas offensive line, largely is ignored on game day. You know what I'm saying? We see offensive line play or the result of offensive line play on Tuesday when the all 22 comes out and you have people clip it up and you can see it. And no doubt, Tevin's going to get his throughout the season. He's going to have plenty of victims throughout the season. That's not a question. The question is, can he do it for 18 games? And then, so the question will become is, if he does it for 18 games, does he even still have leverage then after 18 games? Any leverage to say, to even go to a point where he starts playing hardball, or does he have to take what Ryan gives him and says, all right, hey, I'm glad you stayed healthy, Tevin. Here you go. Boom. This is fair market value. Or can he go out with like Jalen and be like, all right, cool. I'm finna try and give myself top 5 guard money or something like that.
You know what? I'm gonna take my Bears hat off for a second and put on NFL agent.
There you go.
Right now. And if I was his agent right now, I would definitely tell Tevin, don't take a contract right now. Bet on yourself. Play the season out, and no matter what they put on the table, wait till the end.
Yeah.
Now, do you run a risk of not reciprocating the so-called love they're putting on the table for you, or you want to focus on that, or you want to focus on getting your max value at the end of the season? And so I don't know about you, but if I was his agent, I'd be like, play this shit out. Just play it out.
No, I was going to say absolutely play it out. The other part of that is him showing he can be quite, you know what I'm saying, pretty emotional about certain things. Also, does that play into it? Because here's the thing. The guy came in as a tackle. I thought he would have been a pretty good tackle. You know what I'm saying? But the way that the game is going, a lot of these coordinators, a lot of offenses want bigger, meatier guys on the interior guards and the center now. So they can be more physical, more athletic at the tackle position, so they can run pin pull. They can do a lot of their counter stuff and schemes, and they can get guys that's more nimble and run with those guys. So the game has changed and kind of phased them out of being a good to potentially great tackle. So it's already like, if I'm in Tevin's head, I came in the league, I thought I was going to be this linchpin tackle. They moved me to guard. I got banged up inside, and let's call it what it is. Like a lot more. It's a lot more physical in there than it is on the outside, on the play in, play out basis. So they move me inside. I get more banged up, and now y'all come back. I'm playing devil's advocate or Tevin's advocate in this situation. Hey, Bears, it's on y'all. Y'all force me in a position to play a position where I get more banged up now. And part of it is y'all. What how are y'all gonna talk to me this way and treat me this way? And you're saying,
Coach, part of it, if you really think back on when they started messing with him and trying to see if he functions as a guard, I think it started, if I'm thinking right, it started because we was having center issues, and the more likely fix for that role was starting to be Cody Whitehair. The most, I guess, capable guy that we had under the situation we were in was Cody Whitehair to be able to fill that gap. And this is before we got what's his name, number 62 last couple of years. They started that a few years ago, and I thought it was they ended up doing it because there was a need there was a weakness there, and they felt like Tevin could, help kind of bolster the interior of that line. I think that's how it happened, but the way it played out definitely left some feelings in him, because he was drafted and being told by a different regime that we're drafting you to protect this quarterback on the perimeter, man, on the edge, and that's what he was expecting. People, emotional young people, it doesn't happen quite the way they want it to, and he's an emotional guy, and he let it be known, I don't like this, but I'll do whatever you need me to do, and I might bitch about it a little bit, but I'll do it. But it turned out well for him in the big picture.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think it's not a given, right? Either way, especially if he stays healthy, something we should keep our eye on. I don't think it's a given if he stays healthy that this goes as smoothly as we think it is. It's not like, hey, Ryan rolls a piece of paper out there, a contract out there. I don't think he's just going to jump at whatever Ryan throws out there if indeed he's able to stay healthy. I want to shift topics real fast before we get into the Gervon Dexter thing, because I'm kind of old school. I'm old school coach, even though, you know what I'm saying, I'm still a young man. How do you feel? I know you played. How do you feel about this? Because the Avengers, I'm renaming it already. The Bears said they came out in the press conference yesterday that this defense is calling itself. Now I'll comment because it violates a few rules on my end already, but they're referring to themselves as the Avengers. And my guy Lawrence Holmes, who I had on the program, even went so far to align a specific character to each of the defensive backs in this kind of Avenger squad. How do you feel about? Is it too much too fast? Is it corny to you, man? Like,
No, man, I love it. I'll tell you why, man. Because when I was in college, we were calling ourselves the Legion of Doom, not Boom, but Legion of Doom. I'll tell you how it happened.
That must be a defensive thing.
It is. It's very much a defensive thing, and people get so tight knit, man, and in position rooms, and then we come together as a unit. It start, those developed characters start coming out, and personalities start really shining, and it starts to remind you of things, man. The real salty guys, especially the real salty guys, and I like to say I was one of those guys for sure. Smaller, but I was salty, and I loved to hit, and I loved it. You know what I mean? I didn't come up with the concept. But that, to me, it tells me that they're developing their own identity, and this is how they see themselves as the unit that will, no matter what's going on, we're going to avenge whatever's going on. Whatever y'all said about us in the past, we're going to avenge that. And so I think it's great that they are developing a personality within a group of each other. You know what I mean? And if they start naming each other as actual Avengers, that's even cooler. But yeah, I think it's cool, man. I definitely know what that feels like, man. You that spirit and that saltiness, that edge that you want to play with, and you start to see it in all 11, and that includes everybody that's playing backup roles. That's the kind of temperament and personality you want. If you need to name it and call it something, do that, and they rally around that is good.
I think Flus kind of started this thing where he started giving people nicknames last year and all this other stuff. I'm gonna hold off for a little bit, right? I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. I'll say this, and me being my old salty self, I get it. I'm gonna be the old man on the lawn, the old coach, where it's like I'm going with Jalen on this and how Jalen was speaking about it, about all the questions about the defense's potential, top 5 potential, top defense potential. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, let's keep the main thing. Right. And let's get on the field and let's start slapping people. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying out there. Me and my wife share this saying, right? I think she stole it from me and my one of my handles I have on one of my social medias. The king that crowns himself is just a fool of a jester. It's the people that crown you king, right? It's the people that make any leader who or what he is. And what I would like to do, and this, I know it's going to come off as Coach T being a hater or all this other stuff. Y'all know I don't give a damn. For this 2024 Bears team, I get tired of the cycle of, excitement, overexcitement, to the point almost of, looking at the team through rose-colored glasses. Everything's going to be perfect. We have Shane Waldron. He's going to be perfect. Caleb Williams is going to be perfect. The offensive line is going to be perfect. Ignoring the process and the development of what it takes day in and day out. And I'm talking about the 1% better grind. Having played the game, Nomad, it's like the difference that you see on a football team from week 1 to week 6. It could be mil. It could be little to nothing, right? It could be like you can't. It's like watching your kids grow, right? If you come back and measure every day, they'll look the same. But something happens over the summer. Now a growth spurt happens, right? And I think what fans, I'll say this because me and you talked about this offline. We boys. This is my guy right here. I think what fans probably get frustrated with me with is because I won't co-sign on all of the overexcitement. You know what I'm saying? All of the hyperbole, all of the, you know what I'm saying, putting extra on it. I get it. It's a new season. We're supposed to expect new things as fans. But part of me is like, okay, prove it. Let's break the cycle. Even Jalen said that in his press conference yesterday. He's like, okay, look, man, y'all keep talking about top potential to do this, potential to do that. We need to do it. And I like that tone coming from Jalen. So if they're gonna be the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? Jalen needs to be who's the ringleader? Iron Man. Is that who they lined him up with? That would have been perfect because that would have been, hey, it worked out that way. So Lawrence lined him up to be Iron Man. He would have to be the leader of the squad and say, listen, I'm calling the shots. Everybody be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? This gonna be the stopped up commode defense. We ain't taking no ish off nobody. You know what I'm saying? You come to Soldier Field, even when we on the road, we coming in, we taking over your stadium. You know what I'm saying?
I got a big Hawk, man.
So you know who they have? This is what I thought is funny because I'm staring at the picture right now, and I'm gonna pull up the graphic. I should have did this. Earlier. I gotta get the graphic for y'all so we can have something. I want to have some fun with this one now. So I want y'all to be able to see what we referencing. I'm doing this in 4K live, and this is actually
Coach. Who made that?
Lawrence Holmes. Lawrence Holmes did it. He reposted. It's part of NBC football. Credit to him, by the way, before I even show this, before I pull this into the show. I think it's funny. I think it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Something to have fun with. And I ain't mad at it. I'm just like getting to the phase of, all right, here's the next level of it. Here's the funny thing is you said who should be the Hulk?
TJ to me.
TJ.
He the Hulk smash guy. That dude right
hey,
there.
this is have some fun with this. This is who Lawrence has as the Hulk.
Whoa. God, Lawrence tripping, man. Come on, how do you see him as the Hulk?
He got Javon Dexter as the Hulk. And by the way, they excluded all linebackers in this whole situation. To your point,
they focused on that secondary. I guess that's what Jaquan was talking about, his secondary room. I guess, man, but I wouldn't associate him with the Hawk.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta stay healthy, my boy. You. I mean, if this was Mike Tyson's punch out, you glass Joe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You going down to that box and get broke up a little bit too much to be like hulking it out there. So I mean, I'm a hater. I'm a hater day. I'm Kendrick Lamar against Drake right now. I hate the way you dressed. I'm like, put it on the field, bro.
I'm a temper my comments because one day I would like to have Jaquan on the show, and that would be great. I'm referring to that one.
Hey, this is what I'm telling y'all, man. It don't. I get the sentiment, Nomad, but it don't. See, here's the thing. While I'm down at the Super Bowl, and this is what makes this style of it, you know what I'm saying, good anyway. I post a picture with me and Talise Fawaga. I'm trying to be like your boy Gervon Dexter and lean out, because the last couple years have not been kind to me health wise. But I post my picture with Talise Fawaga from the Senior Bowl, and plenty of people that saw that picture, they pointed out that, damn, coach, you make him look like a tight end. Yeah, I'm gonna be the same dude either way. Especially if it's football, and you got to keep in mind it's different from coach's perspective. When these players, they like to be challenged, as long as you do it respectfully. If Jaquan Brisker is on the show, I'm like, okay, bro, you know what I'm saying? What do you have to do? What do you have to do to be healthy for an entire? Because you have similar issues as Tevin Jenkins. You have to give us 18 games, and it's not so much with him that he'll be out for games. How do you prepare your body in a way that you can go down and play in the box and you're not stretched out on the field when you throwing your body around like that? That's a real thing. Whether we like to talk about it or not. Who's our next candidate?
I wouldn't even mention that. I would tell him what to do because it's definitely diet. It's part of his problem. I guarantee you. Is what he's eating. You know, I think that changes everything in football players is what you put in you.
I think it may be of course everything training wise is going to be related to his diet, but I'm thinking it's the way he's training.
It could be that too.
It's the way you train it. Like if this was my concern with Kyler Gordon, by the way, Spider-Man. By the way, he's in competition with Spider-Man that's up in New York now. What's the guy name? The defensive end they just signed out of Carolina.
Yeah, you know, Brian Burns.
Brian Burns is Spider-Man too. So we got to figure out who the real Spider-Man is. Going to be that kind of meme that we see where everybody's pointing the finger at each other when they share the field together. He has to. That was my concern with Kyler Gordon as well, because Kyler he's a dog down there. When he goes down there, he's nasty down there. Mm-hmm. But his frame concerns me down in the box when you got pulling guards and tackles. When I'm running counter at you, and I see Kyler Gordon out there, he'll stick it, to his credit, he'll stick his head in there. But I'm always wincing when I'm watching that on film. Like, Kyler, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's an NFL guard coming at you right there, bro. Cut his legs out from underneath him.
Got the fucking dodge, bro. I know that in the deep way, man. I know that in the deep way, and it got real when I got to college. It's one thing when you're doing it, in high school, but when you get to college, that's a whole different. Man, I'm telling you, man, dude. First time I had a pulling guard come out at me, and this dude was probably about 318, 320 on the team, man, and I had to make a straight up. You straight up get what Deion Sanders said. He had to make some business decisions out there. Yeah, you got to make business decisions, man.
I love. We having fun with this conversation, by the way. I love what Kenny says right here. It's cool if they're good. If they get torched by C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, then the whole thing is whacked. You become a joke. Now, of course, y'all know our fan base. If y'all the Avengers out there and y'all go out there and get cooked, we gonna have every emoji. We gonna have every spinoff. Yeah, we gonna have every kind of meme to come out and make you pay. That's why I say go put it on wax first. You know what I'm saying? Put it on paper. Put it on tape first. You know what I'm saying? Let them pads do the talking. You know what I'm saying? And then when you start busting heads, then you come out and be like, oh, Legion of Boom. When they came out with Legion of Boom, it was like it snuck up on you. Oh, that's the Legion of Boom. They like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking we just having fun with it. Jason said Bynard is Captain America. Hey, I'm waiting to see it. I think Bynard is gonna make this defense, by the way, an underrated sign is gonna make this defense go to the next level, because I felt like Eddie was a tail for most offense. If I'm coaching against Eddie Jackson, I'm saying he's not the spinner. The first thing I'm telling my quarterback, number 4 back there, he's not the spinner. If anybody's coming down in the box, it's going to be number 9. So just read. That's taking a whole nother read away from the quarterback and trying to tell what coverages the team is. If anybody's spinning, is number 9, is not number 4. So just read him and then figure it out from there.
What, Coach? I think I just gotta jump in here, man, because
go ahead, have fun with it.
And I tell people this all the time, man. Analytics is a place for that for some people. The film is my Bible. I look at the tape, and I'm telling you, I don't think there's a safety in the league that goes back and forth from in the box to out deep, out top, and plays both equally well, quite as good as Kevin Byard. The fact that we got him for like $9 million is crazy. I think he's the best safety in football at both levels. And we got him for $9 million. I think he's going to be the unsung hero on this team, man. He is I'm telling you, on film, there's some good safeties out there. I love the kid in Pittsburgh. I love number 31 out in Denver. He's real good like that too. But they all in that bunched up in that same category. But I think the savvy that Kevin Byard brings to the team and that willingness to go down and play down in the box and be equally as good, man, dude, I'm telling you, whatever you thought of our secondary last year, and I thought highly of it, this dude is going to bring another component to it. The takeaways, he's going to be absolutely Caleb's nemesis throughout this whole camp because he's got to really trick bag him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I go back to, again, the schematics of it all. I'm looking up now, and I don't know who they're sending. Who the spinner is going to be. Now I'm a quarterback that's facing the Chicago Bears. I'm Jordan Love. I'm Jared Goff. I'm whoever Minnesota rolls out there, and I say, hey man, we're gonna have to figure it out because both of those guys like to play in the box. I could probably look at film with Eddie and say, and guess it and say, hey, X% of the time, if I'm building out the scouting report for the team, for the quarterback, I could probably go to the film, watch the film, or over the course of the season, do the statistics and say, hey, Eddie only comes down in the box 30% of the time. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a nice C that it won't be him. Like just process of elimination. And that's how you study film offensively. You give them nuggets, you give your quarterback nuggets and say, hey, ignore Eddie, watch Jaquan. If Jaquan is spinning, they're in man to cover 3. So you know you're going either to your best matchup or you're going to the seams on whatever routes we got called that's going down the seams, either going deep down the seams or whatever routes we have sitting in the seams. Whatever route that is, you go into that immediately because Jaquan's spinning, right? Also, you go into the outside. You go into the deep outer thirds. That helps him. That helps those quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, play faster, play better in those situations. We had fun with the Avengers thing, man. By the way, obviously, Kyler Gordon, Spider-Man. I hope this thing doesn't come back to haunt the defense. I really want them to be good. I think they will. They will be. By the way, congrats to Montez Sweat, who debuts at the NFL Top 100. I think this is his first time, which is crazy if it is, right? At number 82 on the NFL Top 100 list, the Tez effect. How we feeling about that? What you know, from your perspective, Nomad, what is Tez brought to this defense that's different than probably some, and compare him to some of our greater edge rushers that's played in this in the 4-3 defense in Chicago? We got a pretty good history at that position. Like, you know, edge rushers coming out of Chicago. Like, where does he rank up there amongst the best of them already in his short tenure with the Bears?
You talking about in the NFL or with the Bears history? With
the Bears history.
Man,
I mean, you can talk about it in NFL first, and then we can get to Bears history next.
Well, real quick, I think 82 is really shortchanging him. I think he's much better than 82.
I thought that was. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Put him in the 30 and 40 area range, man, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think Tez is that good. He's a power edge rusher. He's not a finesse edge rusher. And so the last time we've had that kind of effect on a defense, I think it's been, you could say in I guess in little windows, big windows at times, Khalil Mack brought some of that to the table, but he's more a speed to power kind of edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what kind of Peppers brought to the table. And immediately he lifted up that 4-3 base. Because you got to remember, man, it's a one gap, get upfield, change the line of scrimmage, and everything plays off the suddenness and intensity of the pass rush. How fast do you make that cut? And I'm talking about the cut with the edges coming around, closing that gap and closing that space, and the interior coming up behind them to really make that a tight spot and, you know, close, basically a confined space for the quarterback.
I had an interesting question because Peppers was my Bears comp as well. If you compare them, I feel like they're similar edge rushers. I think Julius was a little bit more like stronger raw strength wise than Tez is. But Tez, by the way, who's right up from right up the street up here in Tucker, Georgia. Tez is right there. He right there. I would right now. Where would you rank those two?
I'd say I wouldn't give either one of them an edge. You got to give Julius the edge because he's a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
But I think Tez can put up Hall of Fame numbers like it ain't gonna be nobody's business. But if he can have the longevity of Julius Peppers, and I don't see a reason why they're kind of built the same in a way. I think Montez is a little longer limbed than Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
But dude, this dude absolutely changes everything. But to his effect on the defense, man, dude, when you got a guy that you got to send extra attention to, and you got to adjust and shift your line to cover what he brings to the table and how much he disrupts, dude, it makes everything around you better. I don't think without Tez, Jalen and Tyreek and none of those guys get as many picks.
Yeah.
When they're sitting in zones, you sitting in zone as a cornerback, you expect somebody to get to that ball at a certain 1001, 1002, 1003, and you can turn and look at that quarterback and see where that ball is coming from, and you can jump plays. So it just makes everything better.
No, you make a great point. I'm sorry. You make a great point, no man. I felt like Jalen should have slid Montez a little Rolex or something after he signed his contract. I just want like he should have left something in his locker. Like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You was doing it. You was playing pretty good before I showed up, but let's be real. Them interceptions showed up a lot more on film when Ted showed up. I like what you said. I think right now, like for where they're at in their career, I would say they're neck and neck. Him and Julius Peppers, with Tez having that same potential to be a Hall of Famer. I don't think Julius Peppers won a Super Bowl, if I can remember, right? So, I mean,
he might have got one with Green Bay.
Did he?
Maybe.
I know. I'm thinking he went to one with Carolina, and they probably got caught short. That's the the Cam Newton years. I'm thinking he was on that team. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But I do agree with what you said. Having to roll coverage. I mean, of course, having to block it. You show up, man. Okay, Tez on film. I don't know if y'all saw the clip from the NFL Top 100, and Buddy was like, on Arizona, he was like, man, we played Washington early in the season, and our whole game plan is around Tez. He wrecked us. He wrecked our game plan with Washington, and then he gets traded to the Bears, and he comes back, and we like, damn, we got to prepare for him again. But you're absolutely right. Coming off that edge, being able to, hey, you know what I'm saying, one arm it, play his contained responsibility, or in obvious pass rush downs, be able to say, pin his head back, long arm it, come up with a second pass rush move, and just basically power over people is crazy.
Dude,
go ahead,
Coach. You know how much faster you can read plays, knowing that within 1001, 1002, 1003, somebody's at that quarterback and he's moving or getting ready to throw a pass, whether it's the right pass or the wrong one. That back seven gets to eat.
Yeah.
No. They're playing downhill now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy now. Like it's listen, I'm not and here's the thing, from defensive coordinator standpoint, let's call it what it is. It's certain coverages now. You like, all right, man, I ain't even got to worry about it. In certain situations, certain coverages, I'm throwing that out. I'm not worried about certain things. I can play with. You say what now?
Cheating, you're starting to cheat a little bit because you can fuck around a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, some of the blitz packages, you know what I'm saying, that you had to put in because we couldn't get pressure up front, with our front four. Now you can be like, all right, cool, we got that in, but we ain't gonna be using it. We're gonna rush four. One of you other guys got to get busy, which is, I think, a great segue into, the topic and the title of today's show was focused on Gervon Dexter with a G, by the way, for my guy Kenny in the chat. Gervon Dexter with a G. I'm going to say Gervon Dexter with a G for the rest of the season because of Kenny. Gervon Dexter with a G. Is he the answer? Because I know he got reps. I documented it as I broke down film last year. I know he got reps at the edge. Is he part of the answer or the answer at the other edge spot? I'm gonna get to you in a second, V-Dog. I'm gonna start these questions up you got and get back to those.
I believe 100% he's part of it. I think they drafted those two interior guys for a reason. The reason why I say that is, Zach Pickens played a lot of one, which I thought that was a little bit out of position for him. I know he's a big boy. He's got a big bottom on him. Go ahead.
Hold up, no. We haven't talked about this. And that was going to be my comment. And that was going to be one of the reasons why I'm saying it, because coming out of college, I thought of the two of them, this first of all, Javon and Zach was exactly, after being away from Bears social media for the whole offseason, coming back 2 weeks before the draft, ignoring day one, I was like, okay, I'm going to get into breaking down film for day two and see which players I like. I actually picked both Zach and Javon, 1 and 2, to come to the Bears. I didn't know we would get both of them, but my scouting report on Zach Pickens was I was more excited about Zach at the time because I felt like that's exactly what we needed, and he's a better run stuffer. And the fact that he didn't have to unlearn the two gap system per se. And I knew it would kind of mess with Javon a little bit. He even alluded to it today. Like, man, come on. Like, I get to pin my head back and really mentally, I don't have to think about it. He said, I have to think about last year. Am I doing this right? Like and it sounds crazy because penetration is just like get in the gap and blow something up. But when you're used to standing guys up, read and react, trying to find the ball, it makes the difference in the world. But I want you to finish the Zach Pickens part of your tape, because that's exactly why I feel like the Bears are going to be like, all right, cool, boom. Hey, Zach, I'm going to put you next to Andrew, right? And y'all stuff the run. Nothing coming through here. Stopped up the commode. No, we ain't taking no shit. They ain't running up in here for nothing. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Clogged up, right?
Yep.
And then get to third down. Hey, Javon, I'm going to put you opposite, because the other part of my scouting report, Zach was a better run stuffer, but Javon had the better pass rush moves, raw athleticism coming out of college. And if they would just put him at edge and ISO him, he was going to beat most, at that time, even NFL offensive tackles.
Hey, Coach, Jason put this in the comment down there, and I wanted to speak to that because I've been looking and waiting to hear. I'm going to listen to Eric Washington's interview again. Maybe I missed something there, but that's good news to hear. Reason why is I was just telling J2K a couple of days ago, I was like, I was pointing him out to a video I think Matty Doves put out. It's a little hype video for practices, and I was looking right when he gets into the video, probably a couple 2 or 3 minutes into it, Coach, if you want to check it out. You can see they're going over to the sled, and they're doing sled work, the big boys and stuff. And when Pickens got up, I seen that's not even being reported how slim and trim he is now.
That's what I'm saying. The walkout
like that, man. Let me tell you something, man. Easily on film when I was doing the same thing you were before they was getting drafted. Just looking at the tape, had him high on the list, man. He is absolutely more sudden. He is absolutely more sudden than Gervon Dexter. And really, I understand why they were trying to cross train him last year, because they had a need there. So now, in my opinion, I think they need another big body, since he's not gonna, if he's right, Jason is right. He's playing 3. They need another big body before this.
So let's do this. Jason is absolutely right. And it's great to hear Eric Washington talking about Zach Pickens playing 3 techniques. I think he's a more natural NFL 4-3 ready, or he has more experience playing in the NFL 4-3. There was the unlearning part for Javon Dexter, and not having to learn how to play the 3-4 read and react, stand your guy up, find out where the ball is, get rid of your guy, and then track the ball that way. he said, yeah, getting used to just penetrating, getting there and being disruptive was the thing. But I feel like I felt like that all last year. You could have plugged Zach Pickens in there and said, hey, between you and Andrew, y'all shut it down. Y'all keep it shut down on first and second down. Get us the third down. Get you an extra rotational guy in there, and which is what I wanted to get to now because I got the graphics up for these guys, courtesy of the Chicago Bears, or who we got up there, right? And I'll start kind of bottom up on this defensive line, the guys that I think that would stand out. And I'll say the last guy, probably the X factor for last. I don't know what we can expect out of Khalid or Kareem on the edge. You know what I'm saying? 6'4", 268. You know what I'm saying? 5 years out of Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? I seen him make flash plays in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that, makes me believe he'll crack, the real rotation coming off the edge. I'm gonna give you a space right there, Nomad.
I think he is definitely. It's going to be a difference between him and improvements. And I don't know if you saw Eric Washington's interview today, man, but if you do watch it, man, your antennas are going to go up when he was talking about these guys' role, man. And it's basically coming down to they want to see when they put them in pads in the first couple 2-3 days of pads, they want to see what they have. Number one, and number two, they want to take them back to the drawing board to see what they can individually tweak to go out there and make improvements. I think if that conversation comes down to Khalid Kareem and somebody else, it's going to probably be Dominique Robinson. Can he be Dominique Robinson? Can Dominique Robinson turn that curve and kind of rise? People give that cat a hard time and don't realize, this cat's been playing like 3 different positions the last few years, before he got to the Bears.
Where is he at? How did I forget him? How did I leave him out? Okay.
Dominique.
Yeah, I think it just didn't load up. So we spoke about Zach. Absolutely right. I believe you're right. Khalid, Dominique Robinson going to be fighting to get in the rotation. I left the big guy out, the vocal leader. I left him out of the graphics as well that did the press conference yesterday. I'll pull it up in a second. Of course, I feel like your main guy is Billings and Zach Pickens on the inside. The rotational guy and the guy that I feel like, by the way, I coached against this dude in high school. And I know he's capable. I know he can get it done. He was in the rotation in Miami. And it's Byron Cowart.
Yep.
I had to block this guy. I had to try to block this guy at Armwood High School in Tampa. And he was that dude then. He took a kind of circuitous route to the NFL, but we knew when we saw him on film. And so I believe Byron becomes the third guy on the interior, and that he plays the same role he played in Miami. He was the interior rotational guy that played to run well, and he could give you something in the pass game too. But I think those 3 right there make it where. And leave Eric Washington in a situation where he can say, all right, listen, Javon, you came out there, you did all the conditioning, you're ready. It makes it interesting. And after looking at each player that we have on this defensive line, all the talk about us signing another edge guy, it's less of a concern to me now. That's what I wanted to really get to with you and say, okay, if you really look at it across the board, and I left a guy out because his picture just didn't come up. But I'll let you speak to it, and hopefully I'll get to the name in a second.
Couple things, man. Number one, I don't know who it was, V-Dog or somebody in here.
I got to get back to the comment. I'm doing a lot today, y'all. Y'all bear with me. I'm hosting, producing, and I ain't done this in a while, so I'm all over the place. So y'all just bear with me today.
Get your muscle memory right. Hey,
man.
V-Dog mentioned that, my antennas peaked up, and you expect this because you want to see how in there in shorts and shells right now. So it don't really mean a whole lot of nothing. When they put them in pads, we'll see. But he's Booker's getting run with the ones right now with and that's good. He needs to see 1 reps, in order for them to know what they got out of this guy. So that was welcome news. 2, Coward, I think he's the guy that absorbed some of those 1 and 0 tech reps that Zach was getting. If you want to kick him more on the outside and get him over the tackle and guard and get him some real 3 tech reps to see how sudden he can be and how he can really dent that, that line. That's how it's got to happen. Byron Coward is a strong dude, man. I mean, extremely strong, and he stuck around with New England for quite a while, man, because of that strength and versatility, man. He did
played in New England. He played in Miami.
Yeah,
rotational guy.
I think he's one of the more underrated signings that we did this offseason. Another guy that I want to mention, the edge. I believe. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe nothing. Jacob Martin is going to be an effect on that other side. He's going to be an effect. I'm talking about a straight up blur as a pass rusher, man. That cat gets off that ball, and I'm telling you, man, if that offensive tackle ain't ready, he's probably gonna draw a lot of penalties against tackles, man, because he's that fast off the line of scrimmage. He's going to be an effect. That's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about all year.
Why am I not seeing the guy that did the presser yesterday? Out of that came to us from Tennessee, the free agent signing, on the depth chart.
Who do we get from
Tennessee? He's the exterior guy, defensive lineman, Walker. DeMarcus. Yeah, I'm not seeing him he's not popping up on the depth chart. Now, I don't know if that's an error on the Bears' part, but
what you looking at, the official site?
Yeah, I'm looking at the official site, the roster, and his picture's not showing up. But that's who I wanted to throw into there, because when you throw Walker in, I mean, potentially on pass rush down, Walker can play inside, outside. Jervon Dexter can play inside or outside. Austin Booker is probably the draft pick from this draft, besides Caleb Williams, obviously. But I think I have, sober expectations for Caleb Williams. The person I think will probably overachieve from this class, I'm thinking is going to be Austin Booker, given the opportunity, because he plays hard every play. He plays with his hair on fire. But I think Bears fans who are clamoring for a free agent edge signing, I don't think when you look at this defensive line end to end, if you look at it position to position, put Zach at the 3, put Billings at the 1. By the way, the Bears in the past they used their defensive linemen interchangeably. They don't. You know how Nomad, when they rotate the 3 technique and the 1 technique depending on the strength of formation, right? Traditionally, the Bears don't do that. They just slide a guy. So if the strength of the formation is to the right and Billings is over there, Billings just goes to the 3 tech. They don't swap. So they interior linemen, defensive linemen, and they like for them to be able to play both either way. You just slide to your spot depending on the strength of the formation. So interior rotation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That really simplifies it for the D line. All you got to do is kick in or out. That simplifies.
Slide, go. You know what I'm saying? How your linebacker slap you on the butt, move over. You know what I'm saying? Strong right, rip, Liz. Slides you, right? Put you where you're supposed to be, right? So with that interior defensive lineman, you got Billings, Pickens, Coward, 4th down rotation. They'll probably pull Billings off the field. Now you can go Pickens. You can go Pickens, Walker on the interior, or you can go Pickens, Dexter on the interior, or Javon, Coward with Austin Booker on the outside, or you can go Jervon Dexter on the outside, Walker on the inside. Like they got a number of different packages they can run with this team now that I don't think it's that big a deal anymore, that it's not pressure on Ryan Poles to go out there and make a splash, even though he has some money left. And I'm going to get to the comments next. I'll let you respond to that, and then I got to catch up with some comments.
I think you are right on point, man. And I'm going to add to that, man. I'm going to tell you why I think you're right about that. It is the variation of pieces that they have in different packages you can use them in. You got a guy with a particular skill set or two, or 2 guys with a similar skill set can be a matchup problem in an area. And let's say on one side you got Tez and Javon playing next to each other. That's a problem. That's a damn matchup problem right there. And then you put let's just say you put let's say Pickens plays on this play, he plays the edge, and Walker slides on the inside. You don't know what that's going to look like, so you're going to probably misplace something there, and one of them dudes are going to probably get free. And so the multiple pieces that they have with different, I just think there's levels to their games, man, and I love that. And so what you're saying about them may not be in a rush to go out there and get the edge, I think you're right, man. I think they have.
I mean, I don't see a need. Again, especially if y'all telling me Austin Booker is running with the ones already. Like, what are we doing? Because, and this is what's going to be overlooked about Austin Booker. People are looking at Austin Booker like a third down rush, NASCAR package rush guys. If you watched him in college, how he played the run, there's a play. I'm going to tell you the play I fell in love with Austin Booker. There's some play. Go back and watch his highlight package. You'll see it. And no matter know what I'm talking about. It's with defensive linemen with me, same way with Pickens and Gervon Dexter. What I saw that made those guys stand out to me is probably not the thing that other people looked at. I simply chose two guys that I saw come off the ball and reestablish the line of scrimmage for what we were at the time, because I got tired of hearing or watching the guy that we shipped off to Las Vegas. I forget his name. Seeing him on skates play after play, and watching teams just collapse the interior of our defense. And I'm like, okay, for where we are in the building of this team right now, we don't need necessarily. I'm not looking for a guy that comes off the ball and has 30 pass rush move. I need a guy that can come off the ball and reset the line of scrimmage. And Pickens and Javon Dexter did that more often than not in college. When they came off the ball and they gave their initial, you know what I'm saying, they ran their hands initially, you saw offensive linemen moving back. At least the guy in front of them, right? And then everybody else's guy was moving forward, and you're like, okay, these are different. Austin Booker, what made me fall in love with him was there's a couple plays in his highlight package where teams run the counter directly at him, right? And Austin he recognized counters coming directly. If you know what counter is, they're bringing a guard, usually going to run guard tackle counter, right? GT counter, or they're going to run the GY counter. They're going to run a guard or the Y tight end. They're pulling the guard, and that guard's responsibility is to ear hole that defensive end, right, and create a hole, and that tight end pulls up in the hole after him, right? But Buddy, he recognizes that guard coming across the line of scrimmage early on, and he squeezes down. He uses inside shoulder and squeezes down so hard and blows up counter plays like it ain't nothing. And I'm like, oh, this is a dude. This is a dude. Because anybody taking on pulling guard blocks like that, my favorite offensive play is power and counter, like run plays. And I know exactly how you blow them up. You got to have a defensive end that knows exactly what to do to blow those plays up. And to me, I'm thinking Eric's like, all right, I see this dude is a dog. He just probably didn't have the facilities. He probably had the looks coming out of high school or whatever. But 20 more pounds and he's a problem.
You know what, man? That guy, what's more impressive with him, I think early in watching the film on him, he stacks and sheds blocks really good. You just don't expect that for a guy of his body type. Like he
plays bigger than what he is.
Yeah, he's strong, man, and he's determined. Like every defensive end ain't made the same, man. He's like, you got to have a certain spirit to you. He just wasn't letting people move him around and push him around, man. He stood his ground well, uses those levers, man, those long ass arms of his really well, man. He just like he knows that those arms of his are a weapon, and if he can get him on that defensive, on that offensive tackle before the offensive tackle gets leverage on him, he knows he can win. And so he's using it, and he's making sure he's covering the edge. Nothing is getting around him. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. And those plays like you're talking about, he's getting off those blocks so well, man. I'm telling you, Austin Booker, I'm telling you, the more and more you listen to him, I've listened to him in college, listened to him coming out of high school. He's got an attitude problem, coach. That's why you
the dude. Hey, listen, man. I'm telling you, and y'all know, man. This is the thing. Y'all know I don't heap praise easily. I'm very guarded with who I get excited about. This dude to me is a stud on film, and it's not because he has 50 million pass rush moves and all this other stuff. It's because he does the fundamentals well, really well. He takes care of, you know what I'm saying, containment responsibility, like No Man said. He takes on blocks. He does the fundamentals and protects the line of scrimmage well and gives you an opportunity to get the third down. That part gets me more excited because if we don't get the third down, if it's always 3rd and 3 and the offensive coordinator gets to choose between whether he's going to run it down our throat, or whether he's just going to, dink it out to the flat to a fullback, and it's easier for offenses just to keep moving the chains on us, then it's crazy that way, right? So let me, by the way, thanks in advance for all the super chats. You guys be killing. Y'all light me up with the super chats. Keep them coming. Yeah, I'm thankful for that. V-Dog, I got to get to these comments. V-Dog says, what up, coach? And Nomad, I'm going to let Nomad take this. And do you expect to see a different kind of defense this year? Do you see more aggressive in your face style? Because I don't know if y'all remember Eric was here before with Chico. I do remember Eric was here before, but back then, I don't know if we was paying attention to coaches and coordinators the way we are now. So
I will say this. I had this question several times asked to me throughout this offseason since we got Eric Washington. Okay, what is he going to bring to the table? I'm going to tell you what he's going to bring to the table. And all you got to do is go look at the Buffalo defensive front, and you know what he's going to bring to the table. And he's got this thing about urgency and being fast, and rushing with that, just getting off like your hair is on fire, man. It's the variations that he plays his fronts with. So it's times when you don't know that you're not looking at an odd front, because that's the way it looks. It's an odd front, and he's got guys everywhere. You don't know when you're about to get rushed by 3. You about to get rushed by 5. You just don't know from down to down. He's not like Chico, and he's not like Lovey, not like Flus, where every play you see four guys with their hands in the dirt. No, you're gonna see some variations of what 3-4 should be, and it can't be as predictable, and it makes it antiquated if it is. If he's out there with 4 guys with hands in the dirt, and it gets to be really simple to deal with, man. But when you guys got guys standing up and can drop back into coverage like your Austin Bookers, like your Jacob Martins, cats like that, you got some pieces to play around with. So this is what I would say to that. Watch for the speed coming off the line of scrimmage, and watch how sudden and urgent these guys are, as opposed to, not saying that they wasn't necessarily last year, but he's going to emphasize it. And that's what's going to make this defensive front better, quicker, and those guys on the back end are going to be, the back 7 is going to really eat from that. So whatever packages he has in, he's going to focus on get the hell off the ball and be fast about it. Whether you're wrong or right, get the hell off the ball and be fast.
Yeah, I like that.
We fix the mistakes later.
I like that, and I hope what Eric inserts into this team is, because it's a lot for Flus to manage being a head coach and defensive coordinator. But I believe if I said one thing to I want Eric to infuse on this team, especially early on through training camp and through the preseason, is no lows, flying to the ball every play. Just being ferocious in the sense of always having 11 players around the ball at all times. I'll let you take this one as well, Nomad. Dr. Truth saying on 3rd and longs, who's your main 4 pass rushers? I like who Dr. Truth has right here. I would add one person and take out one person and just call it the NASCAR package, where it's a surefire 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, or 3rd and long situation. I'll swap out Pickens and put Austin Booker in there and just let the kid eat. What say you, Mr. Nomad?
You just took it from me, man, because it all depends on what that you said 3rd and long, right?
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, the true fire, if I didn't have to worry about, some kind of draw or some kind of, something up the middle, then I would say give me the fastest guys.
It's either I'm going to take out Walker Pickens, just like you. One of them two, and replace him with Booker, because I want to have the option. If you see something, and you need to audible off of the original play, you might want to drop a guy in coverage. And right now, that front doesn't consist of a guy that you want to drop in coverage. And so that's where Austin Booker
comes in, right? You play him like a 3-4 edge and drop him in the flat.
Drop him in the flat. None of those four guys you want to put in that position particularly. But if you have the option of Booker, you definitely can do that if you see something out there.
Let me expand on this question from Dr. Truth right here. Who in this group, and not necessarily guys on the screen, who you have faith and confidence in to win the 2v1s, beat the double team and still can get there?
Definitely. You talking about beating double teams and getting home?
Yeah, getting home. Because so if we go 3-4, it's five versus 3. You drop a guy in the flat. Say we got Austin Booker in, we say, okay, we're gonna run Austin Booker in a flat for the takeaway. You know what I'm saying? Take away a quick out, take away a hitch, a curl, or something like that. We run and play it like a 3-4. Can we get there? And by the way, it's going to be a defensive package where we rush 3.
Right. I'm saying, I tell you right now, Tez is the most experienced guy we have at beating double teams. Dexter is starting to get there. He's starting to get there, and he's used to absorbing doubles when he was in college. He got double team all damn day, every day. But those are the two guys that I see as. I'm not saying that any of those other guys don't have the ability, but those are the two guys that I would circle to say those two guys are capable of beating a double team.
Yeah, no, what I thought about too would be a scary thought is that NASCAR package. I can't talk today. NASCAR package. We talked about rolling out there earlier. The twist and stunts, bro. Now that part is where I say the Pickens lineup that Dr. Truth had earlier, yes, I like better, because when you start running twists and stunts and picks, don't forget the picks. You like to have a bigger body out there to take up more territory, so they. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get run through, pause, no Diddy, whatever you want to call it. In those situations like that, we got to get that just in our psyche now. We can't not say it anymore. If it sounds sus, we got to call it out. Jason said, here's a thought. You think Flus Poles had Dex Pickens play out of their natural position last year to force them to grow as a player because they knew they weren't winning the Super Bowl? I think they drafted potential, at least with Gervon Dexter, Jason. I think they drafted potential. So here's the history with Gervon Dexter. Gervon Dexter didn't always play in a read and react 3-4 defense. He used to be, and I think it was in high school, he was a gap penetration 4-3 guy. Florida taught him how to be a 2-gap 3-4 read and react guy. And I talked about this I talked about this last year because I had a similar experience when I moved from Georgia to Indiana when I was in high school. I went from a 4-3 read and react, gap penetration defense, where all I had to do was do a quick swim move or some quick move and beat my guy in front of me and get in the gap, get in the backfield and make a play, to this situation where I had to use my hands, stand guys up. It was confusing as hell for me. It was frustrating. I wasn't making the plays. I wasn't getting the stats, and it sucked to the point where I actually asked to get moved back to linebacker, because I'm like, I need to be where I can see and I can make plays. But I get where Javon, why and how he struggled, but I do believe they drafted him with the potential that he would be a good to great 3 technique. But I think they saw his pass rushing skills are fluid and natural. They just are. Guys don't stick to him with blocks when they try to punch, when they try to breastplate calf muscle. You know what I'm saying? The targets that offensive line, they teach targets offensive linemen to go for. It's not that easy to get on him. You get on him, and he just slips them so easy. So, yeah, man, Nomad, you got a take on that one?
I think you hit it though earlier when you was talking about the style of defense front they play. It's a slide up, slide down, slide left, slide right, and what that means to the observer is you might slide as a three tech over into the one, so you need to be conditioned to understand what that power is like on the inside. You might that's going to be typically a lot stronger guy for the most part, and you need to feel that. You never know where you're going to be at and how you have to slide. You might slide over the center, and you have to deal with that inside. You might deal with a double team more time than not. So cross training that guy, I thought it was a good start for Zach Pickens, that he came out and all he played last year pretty much was 1 or 0. That was good cross training for him. I knew eventually his strengths are exactly what you said earlier. Three tech, he suddenly gets off the ball. Perfect guy you need to split a guard center combo. And so I think it was good training for him. It's just going to, make him more versatile and more valuable down the line. And I think they did the right thing. I just think if they'd have went and got another guy, he wouldn't have been stuck there for as long as he was last year when he was getting his reps. That's why people weren't so, gung-ho about his drafting. They didn't get to see the real Zach Pickens. The real Zach Pickens, you'll find out who that guy is this year.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's excited, and you made a good point on that. You nailed it too, Nomad. Everybody's excited about the cleaner Gervon Dexter, and rightfully so, running with the edges. I think it's something to that. Somebody came to him, and I said at the end of last season, they're probably going to go to Gervon Dexter and say, get ready. We're going to play you outside more. And I believe it's because if you watch Zach Pickens on tape, especially on rundowns, you don't move the dude. You can't. Him and Billings, you don't move those dudes. And it's not the sexiest thing to watch while you're watching the football game. But if you go back and watch the tape and just say, okay, on first and second down rundowns, are they giving up ground? It's not happening. Go watch the Washington game. That's probably a great example. Go watch the Washington game. And the cool part about that is those guys get to play off each other, right? They get to play off each other, and it gives – think about this also. Let's talk about the layer of the defense, because it's something that we didn't talk about as well, Nomad. If those two interior guys are eating up blocks, then it allows TJ and Tremaine to play free. They can just fly to the ball. Because if I got to get a double on Zach big behind, and I got to get a double, usually the one technique is the guy's going to get the double most of the time, depending on the play. But Andrew eating up blocks, Zach eating up blocks, it allows Tremaine and TJ to just run through holes and make plays in the end, right? And your boy Jack can just be that battering ram in the situational ball that he's in. But I mean, I would feel more confident with those two starting out, and understanding I have the versatility to run, number of packages out there. And Vidal asked the question, like the expectations for this defense overall. Listen, man, after really thinking about this all day today and the rotation we potentially have, I fully expect, and it's not even a matter of want to. They have to. In order for Caleb to be who we want him to be, we have to play complementary football early on, at least to the first 6 to 12 games. And the defense has to relieve that by, allowing us to get multiple possessions, keeping good field position and not having long sustainable drives, and putting us in situations where we have to get in shootouts. That part, they don't have a choice. They have to be dominant. I didn't like Kyler Gordon's answer to the question that, hey, do y'all feel like y'all gotta be because of Caleb? I didn't think it was a truthful answer, to be honest with you. In the pressers, do we gotta be dominant because I need to take some pressure off the rookie quarterback? No, I need you to say no. Our mentality is to go out and dominate every drive, every game, right? But yeah, we want to give them the ball in short field. We want to give him, we want to play with leads early on, and we want to allow Shane to properly develop him, right? That's, that's the ideal situation like that. But I'll let Nomad, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Well, before I speak to that, let me circle back to something you were speaking on earlier, talking about how much TJ and Tremaine are going to eat off of that.
Oh, yeah.
And it just made me think instantly. I started thinking about, I think Ray Lewis was somewhere in the middle of his career. And this is at a time when, after they won the Super Bowl with Big Siragusa and those big boys he had in the middle in front of him. And he was just like, man, he basically went and threatened the Ravens and was just like, man, we don't get back to that 4-3 front, man. These guards is coming out here, they're killing me, man. Y'all trying to kill my career, you know what I mean? I need some big dudes in here to keep me clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you were talking about. As soon as you start talking about it, my mind went right there. And that, if I'm a linebacker, I want to play in this style of defense.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying you got a running team, big bodies eat up blocks. You got those two big behind boys in there. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of who's at the one, at the three, the offensive line going to be like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Double the climb. We got to double the climb at every play. And just even that split hair moment that you have to make sure that block is secured for the guy. Say you run an inside zone or outside zone, and it's the zero technique. I mean, the one technique on the backside, right? That's the reach block. Somebody got to get Billings to make sure he doesn't get penetration on the backside and to cut off the break back or the cut back, right? Mm-hmm. And then at the point of attack on the three technique side, you have to secure the block because that's the read. So good luck, man. Good luck, Don Burr.
It is not. Man,
I gotta give Don crap.
that front in that 3-4 for those linebackers, man. You talking about guards pulling out there on the linebackers. The guards are getting out there to the second level because who's in front of them? Nobody. And so they get to go out there and jump on the linebackers, and that was killing Ray Lewis's career. And he said, man, get me back in the 4-3 where I can play clean, man. I'm used to dealing with running backs and tight ends coming after me, not guards and stuff.
Yeah, because case in point, 3-4, you got a zero technique. You got two guys. If you run the 2T, you don't have your what do they call those guys? D ends in 3-4. Those guys are those guys are locking up on one guy, usually the center and the tackles, and the guards get to run free. And for linebackers, it's not a fun defense.
Hell no.
It's not a fun defense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, forefront is beautiful. I played in the 4-3 and the 44. 44 was great, you know what I'm saying? Because we had an extra linebacker back. We didn't use safety so much back then. Saying it sounds so long ago because nobody threw the ball like that. So we don't have to play with one safety.
Have you ever played in one of those, what is that, 3-5? What is it, 3-5?
These crazy college defense we got right now, 3-5-3.
Yeah.
Nah.
You ain't never played in one of them?
No, I've played against them though. I've coached against them, which is odd. Like, honestly, you treat it all it is 3-5-3. They're counting the corners in the 5. You know what I'm saying? So they're counting the corners on the outside with the 5, and then think of it this way: always playing football with the back 3. The field is always closed, so you have to attack the seams. It's really what you look to do. You attack the seams because they always got a safety in the middle of the field, and they got 2 safeties over. Reason why a lot of teams are playing college, high school, playing 3-5-3, because corners don't cover like they do in high school, in the pros, and in college. They get tired of corners getting cooked, so there's always safety help over the top of college cornerbacks. And those guys aren't playing press man coverage in college and high school the way they are in the pros. So it's like they're letting guys run free off the line of scrimmage. But yeah, run the ball. Okay, I'll give it to you this way. How I attack a 3-5-3 is run the damn ball. It's a 6-man. It's essentially a 6-man box. And what I don't like about how we play football nowadays is we don't take advantage of it no more because what do we want to do? We want to be multiple. We want to be spread. So we line up in 11 personnel with one back against 3-5-3. You playing in a hand. I'm running the tight end out there and the fullback out there, and you line up in your 3-5-3, and you might as well put skates on your defensive linemen and your linebackers because they're gonna be going for a ride all night long.
You know, Jaquan Briscoe was playing in that. Well, I can't think of the coach's name right now. They let him go at Penn State, I think they just were missing the right pieces, man. I think that dude's a hell of a coach. He ran it better than anybody I saw do it.
Yeah, college football is going to be interesting because I'm paying more attention to it now, this year more than I have in the past. But it's, I don't know, man. It's a real world. College, especially secondary play, college defensive play. You notice in colleges, it seems like they don't, in college football, that nobody plays defense. Like the scores are always out of whack, crazy, high scores. If y'all doing all these fancy things in college defense, why the scores are the way they are? The biggest adjustment for any offensive player coming to the NFL is NFL defense is hard because everybody compared to college is a great cornerback. They're going to get in your face. They're going to man press you. They're going to play bump and run. No free releases. They're going to beat the hell out of wide receivers, and you don't get a chance to torch them as much. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the opportunity.
You got to watch some Big Ten football, man. You be watching too much SEC. What you looking for is Big Ten play.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like the SEC, that's why we do it down here, man. It's Southeast Conference, man. We got the Georgia, Carolinas, man. And we just added Texas and Oklahoma. Come on, man. Quit playing.
We got Washington, I believe. I want to say USC jump in with us.
Yeah, that's why y'all got to tap into the program on Sundays, by the way, because we're going to be tracking some college football this year. Actually, AJ, at least she's going to be tracking the Big Ten, which I don't even understand right now because it's 12 teams, but it's still the Big Ten. SEC, I think I got SEC. We're spread out all over the country. The team is going to be taking different regions and tracking players and teams and who's hot and who's worth talking about going into the draft. So these guys won't be so much of a surprise to us. V-Dog, we see your questions right there. I see you, man. I believe going forward, you're right. I'm getting too much going on DC4 for that hell of a set. Because, never underestimate the political part of it, man. I think Flus would love to hand over play calling to Eric Washington, but if you look at last season, Flus out of that whole debacle, Luke Getsy, Flus, Justin Fields, you know what I'm saying? Flus was the last man standing, but goes into this season with the biggest target. He has to show his value. So I don't believe he's giving up play calling.
I was going to bring that to you. I thought Elise and the other cats, Jay was going to be on here, but I've been telling people all the time, and this goes back to, they're gonna have to get into, for Coach Flus's sake, if he wants to be here, they got to get off to a faster start. And if that means getting into more stuff that Caleb is more comfortable doing, I mean, they better do it, because I guarantee you, if things go bad those first 4, let's just say 6-7 games before the trade deadline and the bye week, guaranteed Flus is going to catch that stray.
Bro, it's going to be problems. It's going to be problems. The defense has to, that's why I said they have to be coaching and preaching physical football, fly to the football. When you get there in a bad mood, punching the ball out, turnovers. There's zero defect, zero room for error with this defense the first half of the season, because they have to be good. We already know our fan base. The fan base is not, you know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams it's not even grace that I would call it what Caleb Williams has for at least the next year and a half, 2 seasons. You can change it from grace to grease. The kid won't be able to do nothing wrong, and rightfully so, for at least the next year and a half. He's a rookie coming in the NFL out of an air raid offensive system, who is really the Bears' first shot at pairing a high quarterback prospect with a reputable offensive coordinator, which we kind of highlighted our history on the show Sunday. Go back and watch that show because we asked the question: has it been the quarterbacks, the lack of us having franchise quarterbacks, or has it been the OCs? And that list we rolled out of OCs we had during our history is nasty work. So the kid can't do anything wrong. So where does the obvious blame go? It's big target on your boy Flus. He has to get it done. And again, he was the only holdover from last season and didn't get any smoke. Guess he got fired. Justin got fired. A bunch of players got fired. Flus, by the way, Flus hired Getsy. He hired Williams, and he somehow survived. Anyway, it's been a great show. This is my guy, Nomad. Always listen. We got to do this more because Nomad's he's my counterbalance, man. You know what I'm saying? I get old and groggy and grumpy like coaches do, and you know what I'm saying? He brings the sunshine. He brings the
sunshine.
He brings the sunshine. Sunshine. He brings the good vibes and good energy. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I like to keep it a beat, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, but listen, as we get into the season, y'all gonna see Nomad more often. Of course, I'll be over on Nomad Network on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we get more into film session. Is when I'll be doing. Listen, I'm out of my element right now. We don't have any tape to go over, and I get to be a football nerd yet. But once we get into it, we'll have more sessions like this. Stay tuned. I'll be back Thursday. I don't know what the subject will be Thursday, but. Listen, we're getting close, guys. We're less than a week and a half. Thursday, next week, we get to see what the 2024 version of the Bears look like. I don't think Caleb Williams get a lot of reps. But there's valuable experience to be had with the warm-ups and going through the pre-game routine and traveling and making sure game time operations is set up and headsets are working, and we know how we're going to communicate, who's calling timeouts when, where the red flag is at. You know, what the halftime routine is. I'm just taking myself back to when I used to do this for real. And we had to, hey, guys, we just going to make sure our game time operations are in order. So, and then we'll ramp our way up. But any parting shots, man, Nomad?
Yeah, man, I just want to thank you again, man.
Man, you're my guy, bro.
Man, dude, I already know, man, because it's mutual, man. Reciprocation is real, man. I love doing content with you, man. You know, I get a little bit fatigued doing Bears content during this time of year, you know, because it's constant trying to figure out a way to phrase something and come up with a show theme and, you know, try to keep the show fresh doing.
But it's work, bro.
Yeah, it is, man. And you know, by the way, they putting pads on Friday and Saturday, so we're gonna be probably doing more content this week. But before I get into that, we got the show coming up tomorrow with Alex Shapiro, man. I'm gonna squeeze him. That's my guy, man. He comes over and he empties out his notebook and he'll tell us on the perimeter the best he can, you know, without getting descriptive about what's going on the field, what he's seeing, and all that kind of stuff. And we'll just discern it, whatever he can tell us from there. But that being said, man, I love doing content. This is like candy to me, man. Just talking football with a football guy. This is like dessert. Like I'm eating dessert before dinner kind of thing, man. It's always fun doing this, man. This is a real treat. And I know people that listen to these podcasts and watch them, they love it when you and I get together and actually talk about football for a whole damn show. You know, they just have to eat it up. So we definitely need to do more stuff. But absolutely, you know, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. Like I said, man, you're a friend of the show. You know what I'm saying? I know, you know, my brand. And I'm not, you know, I don't have illusions of grandeur or, you know, illusion. I know my brand or my takes of, you know, because it can be dry sometimes, Chicago dry, so to speak. That, you know, just the X and O's schematics isn't always fun to talk about or get into but having somebody that has a different perspective, welcome that. We definitely be back throughout the season, have Nomad on. Thursday, I think I'm getting into the center battle between Sheldon and bro. Why am I drawing a blank right now?
Can I jump in right while you're thinking that?
Go ahead.
V-Dog want to know where you can find the show. It's at the Nomad Network on YouTube, man. Do me a favor, go hit the
For
sub button.
sure.
I think
Plug the show, man.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
enjoy this,
yeah.
you enjoy those shows over there, V-Dog.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
thank you. Jason reminded me we do have Brad's coming on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central. So don't forget.
Oh, Greg coming on?
Yeah, Brad's coming on, man. We're going to clear the air about all this old crazy stuff that was going on in that Civil War, man. We're going to
Oh,
clear it
yeah. I didn't see that one. I knew that. I heard you. I was actually in the chat the other day, and you know what I'm saying? One thing people can't say about Nomad has a great heart, man. You know what I'm saying? And Nomad, he went out of his way to be like, look, man, I know the Civil War and all that stuff got crazy and relationships and all that stuff was broken and all this other stuff. Somebody, I think, and Sean may alluded to the same about, you know, relationships being broken down through the Civil War and all this other stuff. And I'm like, maybe I'm just so delusional. I don't know. I just, maybe I've gotten so good at ignoring haters and whatnot. It just don't faze me. But here's probably, and it's probably be a bit personal. Here's what people don't know about me throughout the Civil War. My life was so hectic during the Civil War that, watch this, the Civil War was a break from what I had going on in real life. I'm going to tell y'all, this is what, so people will be like, coach is a-hole and all this other stuff. The Civil War, my real life challenges were so crazy over the last 2 years that the Civil War was a break for what I had going on in real life. So the people that are talking about, you know, broken relationships and beefs and all this other stuff, I don't even remember. Like I couldn't tell you one person that, I mean, I have people we didn't agree on the take and all this other stuff, but I didn't hold it. I didn't hold it that personal to the point where I just feel like it's a broken relationship. There's people, I'll put it this way. There's people where things got personal, and when they get personal and get disrespectful, then you just, I question your character. You just not, ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no apology from that. Cause you know, when the things get hot, I realize who you're gonna be. And you know, Nomad knows me. He knows my background. He knows what he knows. I was raised in Parris Island. I was born in Parris Island, South Carolina. And you Google it for you know what that means. And it's dangerous when I get people like that around me. So it's just better that those dudes stay away, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not that serious. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna put on my Nomad hat right here because I love this about your show. You always try to leave off with a positive note. So I'm going to do that the same. Guys, I said this. We should have fun with it this season, right? Good win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I've learned, because part of what I had going on last season that made the Civil War less of importance than the channel and what was going on with my real life was a health scare that could have potentially took me out of here, right? It's not that important. Have fun with it. Enjoy the season. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the season. This is what I'm doing differently than I did last year. I'm covering the team. Win, lose, or draw. And on this platform, Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T, I just want to be able to report to you guys what I'm seeing, especially in the film work. Where are we in the progress, Caleb Williams, in his development? How is Shane doing in his development of our quarterback? Is it him? Is it the quarterback? How's the defense coming along in terms of film work, schematics, so you guys understand what's happening, the reason why to be mad or not be mad instead of just being upset and angry and let's fire everybody stuff. At least having an explanation as to what goes on helps with the situation. But I want to have fun this year just covering the team. I want to approach it from more of a journalistic standpoint this year. So that's why I'm not getting in no beefs with nobody. So have fun with it, man. You know what I'm saying? And then also understand everybody has a role to play in this whole media, social media thing. There's troll channels, there's educational channels, there's debate channels. There's a number of platforms. People play the role they do in this thing. And all of it is, it's a gig. You know what I'm saying? These are none of these people's real lives and who they are in real life, other than, you know what I'm saying? Either way, no, man, you do this better than me, man. Sign us off and then we're going to get out of here.
Hey, man. All right, man. So just to add to that, man, it's really like if you're like me, I came in here as a purist, man. I avoid playing fantasy football because I did it for a couple of years, and I started watching stat lines instead of damn games, and that just took. I'm a football purist to my soul. This stuff runs in my blood, man. And if you V-Dog, if you're a person that likes this kind of content that we just made over here with Coach, you're gonna definitely love it over at the Nomad Network, man. Because when it gets to football, we can get into it, man. We can get into that stuff, man, and it gets great. You know, we do some great content over there, but man,
listen, no throwing things, no yelling and screaming at. I started because I got too tired of people just after the games, just, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I understand why we do the ranting and stuff. That's, you know, that's feeding to the emotions of I wanted to be able to explain to the fan why things are happening or what's exactly happened. And this is what you're truly seeing. And it's the coordinator. Oh, the quarterback, give him some time. He's in development. Or we need to get you remember Nomad. You remember who I was one of the very first people that was holding a picket sign to fire Luke Getsy. Identified it early on that the dude was trash because I held the same job. And that's what I want to be able to bring the fan. Okay, what are you seeing schematically? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You got me stirred up right there.
No, man, you should have started a website, firelukegetsy's.com. He was on that business, man. He was on that business for real. But man, listen. To close this up for you guys, man, look, we come here to talk about the actual football part of it. When it gets to, you know, I tell people all the time to come on our show. I don't care if you don't agree with everything that we have to say on the show. It's cool, man. Just be decent about it. The core. I ain't gonna call you no names or do none of that stuff. That's just not in my DNA. I'm not gonna do that. Be that keyboard gangster. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm for real. Like if you do too much, I'll roll up on you somewhere and we'll see what's really good. But before I get to those levels, I prefer to be real positive and keep my spirit right with everybody because ain't none of it necessary, man. It's a difference of opinion. You feel one way about one thing, you feel one way about another thing. We can agree to disagree with each other, and we're good at that over there. But you know, my part in whatever I played in it, and people think I played some role in the dysfunction during the offseason, I don't mind falling on my sword for that, for whatever reasons you guys might think it was. So that being said, man, keep it positive, man. But if you can think it in life and you can see it in life, you can damn sure manifest it. It's all in your mind. You just have to see it through. Sit back.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind, man. It's all in the mind, man. I appreciate y'all. The Chicago Bears 360. That's Nomad. I'm Coach T. I'll see you on Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 Central. We're going to talk about the center battle, man. We're going to get into it. Of course, we're going to have my guy, man. My guy. Oh, man, bro. I got to start taking some more ginseng and drinking more coffee. Bobby. Yeah, I'm Bobby from the Cognac Boys from over at Hayes. CEO Hayes, Chicago Bears Central, going to be on Thursday. We're going to talk about this center battle on Thursday, man. Y'all join us on Thursday. Let's have some fun this season, man, and keep it fun, man. Let's have fun with it. Jive, turkeys, past, present, and future. We bear down. We'll see y'all next time. Peace. Where my graphic go? All right.
Hey, I don't want to be short, Coach, but I got to scoop.
Yeah, man. Me too. I got to get upstairs too. I got to check on the wife.
All right, man. Much love, man. I'm gonna holler at you.
All right, peace.